A few more days have passed, so it's time for a really fast update on the frost damage. Checking back, the Distillium, still green, although a little bit less green on top. The Podocarpus does have a little bronzing, but not that bad. The Eucalyptus passiflora has turned brown, but the leaves are still flexible. This Elaeagnus that I thought was green at first does have some browning, but the underside, well, the underside is always white, so we'll see. So this one Elaeagnus, not as good as I first thought. Coast Redwood still looking good. Slight bronzing here and there, but nothing major. A little browning on a few leaves here and there on the Carolina laurel, but overall still really good. Southern wax myrtle maybe has a little bit of bronzing here and there, but mostly still green everywhere. I forgot to show this one last time when I was doing an update. This is the Survivor cold hardy hybrid camellia, and I believe it's a hybrid between Camellia oleifera and Camellia sasanqua, actually. So this one has really good green still, and it's in a pretty exposed location, so compared to the Japanese camellia, this hybrid sasanqua oleifera camellia did really, really good. I would say I may even want to plant more of this hybrid camellia in the future because it just took that ultra cold temperature in stride. Pretty impressed with that. By the way, this is the Camellia Japonica, and even though it's completely brown on top, it has a little bit of green on some of the leaves underneath here. So I'm not losing all hope just yet on Camellia Japonica, but looks pretty bad at this point. Here's that Liberty Holly that I had, and not only is the top brown, but the bottoms are pretty much completely brown. I don't see any way I can keep this plant. It's going to lose every single leaf. And the Pyracanthas also look pretty bad. Here's another one I forgot to show on my ultra long frost damage update video. This is the hybrid Osmanthus. I believe it's Osmanthus fragrans and Osmanthus heterophylla. And it's got remnants of green under the leaves here, but the top is really burned. So quite a contrast with the hybrid camellia. In this case, the hybrid camellia is definitely more frost tolerant than the hybrid Osmanthus. This is called the Fortune's Cold Hardy cultivar of Osmanthus. And it's still alive probably, but not faring too well. Here's that Centennial Girl holly. Still kind of a dark, super dark olive. I wouldn't call it brown. And it's definitely still got some green on the underside. There we go, on the leaves. There's one random leaf that totally unaffected. I don't know what happened there. So I would say Centennial Girl is better than Liberty Holly. And the Dragon Lady Holly is still brown with probably some green on the underside. So there you go. Dragon Lady also better than Liberty Holly. And just to show you that all the hollies weren't scorched, here's the Nellie Stevens holly. Still nice and green. So that's going to be the most cold hardy of the ones that I currently have in this collection. Here's the Turnstroemia Gymnothera, brown on the underside now. So we'll wait and see. Not looking great though. And the English laurel has a little bronzing, you can see, but in every case it's nice and green on the underside, even on the brown ones. Well, that one's not. Better than a lot of others I saw. So I'm definitely going to keep that one. Checking back on the Elysium. Amazing. It appears to have not been affected whatsoever. So that's unbelievable, actually. Elysium parviflorum. Things have taken a turn for worse over here in the Rhododendron henryi corner. Hong Kong rose. First it seemed to be good. It always has these kind of whitish undersides, but the top has definitely taken a decidedly brownish to ultra dark olive coloration. We'll find out later what that means, I guess. The Camellia Japonica still has a little browning, but looks great compared to the others. The Akuba is looking a lot worse. At first I thought maybe it was okay, but now it's all turned to dark brown on the top and bottom of the leaves, so I'm betting this Akuba is a total loss, unfortunately. The Pieris had some bronzing, but still holding up very well. Nice and green underneath. And the Rhododendron, also still good. At first I thought the Clara Japonica had fared better than the Turnstroemia, and I still think it has, because there's some green on the underside. So still hopeful, but it definitely looks worse than it did the last time I checked on it. A lot more brown. By the way, all the Cryptomerias have taken on a deep bronze color, which I'm not at all worried about, because that is pretty normal for the species. But they're all this kind of brownish bronze color now. And they'll probably stay that way the rest of the winter and green back up in the spring. In case anyone out there was wondering about Pinus glabra, the spruce pine, which is normally found along the southern coastal plains, this was not at all affected by -4 degrees, so completely hardy. Every now and then you can find this on mailordernatives.com. And if you can, I definitely recommend picking one up if you live in the eastern U.S., or at least southeastern U.S. And some of you may have wondered about slash pine, another southern yellow pine usually found in the deep south. This was also not at all affected by the cold temperatures here in Middle Tennessee, so I think those are also available out there on mailordernatives.com and maybe a few other sites as well. One person asked about Deodar cedars in the comments, and while I would say the Carl Fuchs cultivar here is absolutely unaffected, the golden Deodar seems to have taken on a bronzing brownish cast here and there, and the needles are really easily falling off, so I don't know what that means for the golden Deodar. I'm guessing it'll bounce back, but if not, that's going to be quite a significant loss if these golden Deodar cedars really were severely damaged by the cold. Sweet Bay Magnolia, still looking good. And the Edith Bogue Southern Magnolia, still looking very good. I thought the Cattleya might have survived the cold this time, but I was obviously wrong. Now it's turning brown. This tree is once again going to lose all its needles in the winter, which means I'm taking it out without question. So Cattleya Davidiana does not survive in Middle Tennessee, as far as I can tell. Last item on the list, the Theopsis Labrada also has bronzing as a result of the cold, but still nice and green underneath.